Hi, I'm Debbie, and I'm a life and relationship coach. I work with parents of teens and young adults who are going through a challenge in their relationship. And what I want to talk to you today is about control and the difference between rules and boundaries. So we don't have control over anybody other than ourselves. So we don't have control over our teen or adult child. We only have control over us. And so um, setting boundaries is different from setting rules because um, rules are about trying to control what the other person does. And sometimes it can be very difficult. For example, if there is like addiction to drugs or alcohol involved, it may be really difficult with setting rules because the rules are trying to tell your addict that they cannot use the drugs or alcohol, or maybe telling them they cannot use it in your presence or in your house. And so they're about them. And so setting rules sets us up to be angry and frustrated. And if we want to have a loving relationship with our child, we don't want to come from a place where we're angry, frustrated. It also sets us up for being fearful because we fear these rules are going to be broken. They're not going to listen. So then what do? We don't have a plan. And so we're not focused on the love. We're focused on fear, anger, frustration, anxiety. And so what we can do instead is set a boundary. So boundaries are different because they are about our own values and our own behavior and our own emotional well-being. Um, and so they're not about controlling somebody else. They give us choices and we get to decide. So for example, if we decide that if we were going to set a rule, say, and um, our 22-year-old was living in our basement and drinking too much alcohol or bringing drugs in and using drugs. And if we set a rule, we may be constantly battling with them because they're breaking the rule all the time. And so instead, if we set a boundary that I'm not going to live in a house, I'm not going to live with drugs or too much alcohol being used. So then we have a choice. If they choose to do that, then we have a choice. We can tell them they need to find another place to live. And so we have that choice, we have that control. Maybe we decide about money. If we give them money, we're afraid they're going to use it for something we don't approve of. And so if we set a rule, then we're trying to control and we're trying to see, okay, what are they using their money on? We get frustrated, we get angry, we get fearful. But if we set a boundary and say, okay, I'm only going to give you $50, or I am not going to give you any money until I see, you decide for yourself. I'm not going to give them money until I see a change and I feel more comfortable giving them money. So you set these boundaries that are about you. And then you set them in a place of love and peace and where you're not angry and frustrated. You want to set them when you're just in a neutral and loving state. And so they're to help you, and they are going to give you a sense of something you can rely on and trust. And so the more you can trust something, the less you have to fear what happens if you're not able to control your child, because you're not going to be able to control them. And then that allows you the space to focus more on the love. So I hope you found this helpful. I wanted to also announce that next week on May 2nd and May 3rd, I am going to be doing a live in-person challenge. And I'm going to be talking about handling the fear, ways to handle the fear. I'm going to be talking about more in depth about boundaries and the difference between boundaries and walls. I'm going to be talking about self-love and rebuilding your loving relationship with your child and taking ways to take care of you. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to ask questions. So I hope that you can make it. The link to sign up for the free challenge is in the comments.